As you know, a Russian ambassador to Turkey was assassinated on live television yesterday. And now people are rightly concerned about how this shooting of Putin's ambassador to Ankara could actually spark World War III. Zoe O'Brien for The Express reports that the shooting of Russia's ambassador to Turkey in Ankara could escalate tensions and has the potential to start a war between the two countries. Now, according to, his name was Karlov Andrei Jdanovich, Moscow's ambassador to Turkey, was shot in an art gallery in Ankara in an assassination. Now, the attack is, they say, the latest in a string of incidents to rock the relations between dictator Erdogan and Vladimir Putin's countries. They write both of which have vital interests in the war-torn Syria. Now, most recently, as you know, just last year, Russia and Turkey were at absolute odds. Okay, Turkey upset that Russia was violating their airspace as they claimed. So what did Turkey do? They shot down a Russian jet, killing one of the pilots. And when that happened, the entire world held their breath. Thankfully, tensions simmered down. It didn't escalate, and we pretty much averted a global war with all the nations lining up on either side. Well, now here we go again. We have a Russian ambassador serving a diplomatic duty shot by a Turkish police officer. Now, they say he was off duty. They say he got in by showing his badge or something like that. But then you see him standing behind the ambassador. So he probably just weaseled his way in and said, yeah, I'm security, I'm his security detail. And he stood behind him, and nobody raised any questions. And then when the timing was right, he pulls out his Turkish issue sidearm and guns down the ambassador on live television. And then he shouts Allah Akbar, and he shouts, this is for Syria, you will have no peace, you'll have no security, all these things that he's standing for and why he shoots the ambassador. Then, of course, he promptly gets gunned down right there. Now, this is the setup. Now, they write here, they go on, they basically, in this article, they reiterate the fact that the Kremlin was reeling when an aircraft was shot down by Turkish Air Force. Then Russia denied that the plane had been over Turkey, called the act a planned provocation by supporters of terrorism. They write, then a string of sanctions from the Kremlin followed as tensions grew between the nations. They continue that Turkish exports of fruits and vegetables to Russia have been banned. Visa-free travel has ceased, and many Russian travel agencies pulled the plug on tourist packages to Turkey under pressure from the Kremlin. Then in September this year, Russia has expressed grave concern over Turkey's brutal military advances in Syria as Russia continues to back Bashar al-Assad. Now they say, this is the whole timeline. They say this followed accusations that Turkey breached Syria's fragile ceasefire on February 28th, targeting Kurdish forces in northern Syria. They continue. This is the timeline. The retaliation, Russia cut off Turkey's primary rebel supply line to Aleppo. Then Putin bolstered the Assad regime while allowing the Kurdish People's Protection Units, the Syrian branch of Turkey's arch nemesis, the PKK, to take control of territory abutting Turkey, leading many to suggest that Moscow is simply humiliating Turkey. Now they say, the experts said that the shooting that just took place will further damage Turkey's international reputation. And certainly, I believe it will, because it's an inside job. I don't believe this. I believe this was 100% legit assassination. You have an insider in the Turkish police force fronting as a security officer, gunning him down. Inside job. He may have been a lone wolf, acting, in accordance with the Islamic extremists. He may not have been acting at, the behest of dictator Erdogan, but the fact is that it happened, and somebody has to be held accountable. And he was wearing he had the credentials of a Turkish police officer. So it's only going to serve to create more problems. They write, what is more, while Russians arm and back Assad and Turkish officials say the Syrian president must leave office eventually. Then they write, relations appeared to improve after the military coup in Turkey in July, when Russia supported Erdogan after some members of the military attempted to overthrow the leader's government. Now, I believe that was a completely staged event. If not, they knew it was coming. They used it to clamp down on all of his opposition forces, as far as Erdogan. I mean, how else are you going to get rid of all the people who despise you, who are fighting against you? You let them either enact a coup, or you enact a coup yourself and blame it on your opposition. Standard false flag. Standard false flag maneuver. And you go and round up all your foes. Humiliate them, put them in jail, kill them. But that just further damages dictator Erdogan's standing in the global community. So, of course, the Russian relations continued to simmer, but then they got better. And now we're seeing this ceasefire, we're seeing the efforts for some sort of resolution, and all of a sudden, boom, Russian ambassador killed. So this could very, very easily create escalation, further damage the relationship between Russia and Turkey, and undo a lot of the work that's been done to try to mend the fences after the fact that the Turks shot down a Russian jet. I mean, meanwhile, you got Erdogan. He's pushing Europe, saying we're going to send all these refugees over there if you don't let us into the EU, crying like a baby, putting all this extra pressure on Greece. I mean, if you ask me, Erdogan is causing way too many problems in the region. I don't care if he's an ally of the United States. If there's anybody that it needs to go, it's Erdogan. Okay? Erdogan's causing more problems. Of course, you got the issue with Assad and the civil war. That's ongoing, okay? That's not going to be resolved overnight. But Erdogan is not making matters any better for the region at all. But hey, I'm not a nation builder. That's not my foreign policy position. I'm just calling it like I see it. I don't like what I see, how Erdogan is acting. I don't like getting involved. I don't like my nation getting involved in foreign affairs. That's not how the founders intended this nation to operate. Unfortunately, we've got our hands in everything. But this latest assassination attempt is only going to serve to create greater problems, and we're going to continue to monitor that.